Hi, my name is Sheehan. I have a company called Millennium Education where we teach about the body is the barometer of your soul, that the body shows you exactly what's happening inside. But there's also a mathematical code to the body, and that's through what's called the 10-point Merkaba. In Atlantis there was an 8-point Merkaba, which is about know yourself, and now there's a 10-point Merkaba. So this is symbolic of that. When you look at that diagram, it's a pyramid within a pyramid. And the whole idea of the pyramid, when you pull it apart, it's a diamond. And the symbol of perfection, that we're perfect, is a diamond. Not so much the diamond you wear, but of the actual shape. The 10-point Merkaba is about sacred geometry, and it's the pattern of all things of creation. It's an electromagnetic field around the body, and it's huge. It's 55 feet. It's already there, but certain things will activate it. Now, the Merkaba is a counter-rotating field of light, which means that it moves around. So, which way does it move? Whichever way it likes. The top pyramid might move that way while the bottom pyramid moves that way. It all depends where your mind, your body and your soul are and what you're thinking at that time. Allows access to other dimensions. What's another dimension? Another dimension is, are you working in this lifetime, past life? Are you working with aliens, angels, or beyond? Whatever else is in the universe. The bonus of the 10-point Merkaba is that you can access more about yourself and connect to that really higher part of yourself. Some people call it God, higher self, greater consciousness source. It's where you touch base with you. The Merkaba gives you opportunity to perceive the world differently. So with the 10-point Merkaba, give you an example. If suddenly I ran over the dog, my husband left me, and my 17-year-old son said, I hate you, I don't want to live with you, what would your normal reaction be? Fear? Devastation. Who'd have a cry? The bonus is, when the Merkaba is activated, you're able to stand back from an observatory point of view and not get involved with the drama. You can feel it, but it's very much, you stand back and know that you can be able to change your outcome. So that's what it means by perceive the world differently. Create different personal outcomes and incomes, where instead of repeating the same pattern, oh my gosh, I always lose my job. Change the personal perception. I always create amazing jobs, I never lose my job. Discover other realms, more understanding. So it changes life where you just don't see it the same way. Einstein said to repeat a pattern and expect a different outcome is insanity. Anyone else been insane? Yeah. So the Merkaba is a tool and a technique to facilitate humans to reach their full potential. What's full potential? If you look at little children, they know they can be, do, have anything. Whatever their heart's desire is. Something happens for us as adults. We grew up. And when we grow up, we actually forget potentiality. We actually lock in limitations. Whereas little children, yeah, I can climb that, I can do that, I can have that. But as adults, we tend to limit ourselves. It's a connection to, some people call it omnipresent or universal mind. And it's a connection on that level that anything can be, do, have at any stage. And the biggest secret with this one is that you made everything in your life. It's very much about taking responsibility. No more blame game that she did and he said and I didn't do because it was their fault. If you created $500,000 of debt, you can then create $500,000 to clear and $500,000 income. And it's the knowing that you can do that, be, do, have. The Merkaba was taught in the ancient mystery schools of Egypt and also the mystery schools of Atlantis. In Egypt, they tapped into the 10-point Merkaba, but in Atlantis, it was the 8-point. The teachings were shared in ancient books such as the Book of Enoch, the Bible, the Quran, and are still taught but misunderstood. And it's a vehicle to ascend. To ascend means to have a different awareness. To descend, we go into the drama of things. The Merkaba taught in Atlantis The teachings were to create no duality. So we live in a world of duality, and I'm going to give you an example of when I work with children. They will say things like, well, how come you can eat chocolate at night time and I can't? Is that duality? So what do you say as adults and parents? Because I'm the parent. But that's duality. And so in that duality, it's the understanding that nothing is outside of ourselves. Now I'm going to make a little bit controversial. Can I do that? So let's look at the Twin Towers a couple of years ago. Osama bin Laden said, as the Twin Towers are up, in the name of Allah, we're doing this. But America said, in the name of God, we're doing this. Were they doing the same thing? Possibly. So in Atlantis, it was very much about seeing the duality that we're actually all doing the same thing. And seeing that when we point the finger, there are three fingers pointing back. Is it you doing it? And I don't mean just negative. If you admire someone, you say, this lady does an amazing job of cooking spaghetti. Maybe it's you that does an amazing job, or about to be an amazing job of spaghetti. The Merkaba is a pattern that creates all things. This is actually the 8-point Merkaba. This one's the 10-point. Mer means light, ka, human spirit. But the human spirit is very much about the strength and courage. So a lot of people think, I just don't have the strength or courage to get through that trauma. Guess what? The universe has a wacky sense of humour, and you ask for it. You ask for that trauma, but you don't realise. And what the 10-point Merkaba does is it makes you very much aware you actually ask for that lesson. The bar is the physical body and the interpretation of where you are at that time. So let's give you an example. I'll use me speaking today. Somewhere I asked to public speak. I can go back to when I was in grade 3 and I remember the school teacher made me public speak. I felt sick, I felt headachy. Can you relate to this? Someone put you on the spot. I can dip back into that, or I can be aware of that and go, hang on a minute, if I treat all of you like my bestest friends and that we're here to have a party and I'm doing show and tell, look, I can't. What I've done is my interpretation of my reality changes, my body changes. I don't go into the sweats and hot flushes and the headaches. I actually have a good time. It's situated around the body and lies dormant until something activates it. When activated, the body remembers the courage, remembers your true potentiality. When ascending, the character or DNA of the person changes to the next world. And I don't mean to go to another world. You can if you want to. But the other world is your perception changes, where you start to look at things and go, you know what? All right, here's another smackaroonie of a lesson, but my golly gosh, I can actually do that because I can do, have anything I want. This concept integrates once you've learned your lesson and understand. And that was the idea of having a pyramid and a pyramid integrated, where you bring all lessons, physical and metaphysical, and you have the understanding. Not reach it from anyone else, but you get it. So I might turn around to you and say, oh my gosh, I see your energy and you've been able to do that because of this. But this lady might walk away and go, that doesn't feel right. And she has the right to do that and go, well, it wasn't because of that, it was because of this. Where you really listen to yourself. Life is led by absolute love and the heart. The awareness is expanded of yourself and others, where you really are able to stand back and look at someone else. So your boss suddenly screams at you and says, oh my God, you're doing a bad job. But if you stand back, you actually understand maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe he feels like he's doing a bad job and you're the one that he's going to take it out on. Because really, if you're in your heart space, no one does a bad job or a good job. You see your own patterns. So you get to watch your patterns. Like I just said about grade 3, I can tell you the teacher's name, Miss Ridquist. Loved her until she put me in the limelight. Then that was it. Now I love Miss Ridquist because I go back to that experience. So the bonus of the 10-point Merkaba is you get to check all the patterns. You suddenly become conscious of that fear or illusion, and you suddenly go, oh my gosh, I've done it there. And you get to change it. And all that happens, just like on the whiteboard, you rub out the story and you rewrite that story. You want to be brilliant? Rub out the story where you thought you weren't and redo it. Create a different outcome, and the outcome is self-realization. And if you have a look at this, I really like this picture. How many of us make ourselves small, but other people see us as big? And if we really looked at ourselves, we have the courage and a gift for all to see and for us to be. Self-realization is what you perceive and what you choose to see as reality. And that your truth is your truth, no matter what it is. So you could call my shirt pink, you could call it magenta, you could call it hot pink, you could call it pale pink, dull pink. But whatever your perception is perfect. It really doesn't matter to me, so long as you know what it is. What you choose to hold on to as a belief system is your truth. But your truth will change each time. And it will change to be able to see that fear is an illusion. If you look at the word fear, and I didn't make this up, and I'm not sure who did, but I give them credit. Fear, F, false, E, evidence, A, appearing real. And the false evidence is that we think we're not brilliant, but we are. Perception's reality, and as I said before, Einstein. Insanity, repeating a pattern, and expecting a different outcome. What the 10-point Merkaba does, integrates the feminine masculine. What does that mean? So the feminine is the top pyramid, the masculine is the bottom. Feminine can be, oh my gosh, I got this thought today, I might actually sew some socks. And the masculine is the doing part. Or it might be the feminine, I feel quite intimidated around bombastic people. The masculine slips in and I be more assertive. So it's integrating both sides. But in that feminine masculine, it's also working the right brain and the left brain together. How many of you have a slave? Oh, I'm the only one. You all do. The feminine brain's the right brain. It's the one with the ideas, and the left brain is your slave. It's the one that says, yes, master. So I'm going to give you an example. I look in the mirror and I put on my shirt and I put on my skirt, and the first thing I do is, does my bum look big in this? But because I had that belief system from within, I suddenly perceive myself as looking big bumped. Does that make sense? In the feminine masculine, because I had that creative idea, left brain says, yes, you do. You look very fat in this. Does that make sense? And then, here's the wacky universe. Along comes my 13-year-old son and says, God, you look off on that. Confirmation of from within to without. Does that make sense? Neutralizes experiences to be equal. So it's just, like I said before, it cleans the slate where you go, you know what, I don't have to hold on to resentment. I don't have to stay stuck. I can actually see it's all cool bananas. It's just wiped off clean. Do children do that? Yes? No? When they have a fight, they're fighting about Barbies, they're like 5 years old. Do they have their fight, get over it, and then say, hey, do you want to play Tonka Trucks?
Yeah.
Do adults? No. World of no duality, and aware of the totality of everything. It's called the absolute. Aware of everything. So listen. You can hear the drumming. Beautiful heartbeat. You can hear me. You can hear the noise outside. Now feel your own heartbeat. You're aware of everything. You might be aware of the energy. You might be aware that it's quite warm in the room. The Merkaba is a living field, and it responds to the human thought. It makes you very conscious of what your thoughts are, especially, who's ever had monkey mind? Just this little voice inside that goes, you're no good, you're really dumb. It makes you aware of those little monkey mind thoughts so that you nip them in the bud before they come into reality. Your thoughts will ascend, change to a different perception, and your perception or your result will be, your perception is a result. Forget it. It's on the board. Any questions so far? Because I just wanted to share some more about the Merkaba. No question?
Yeah, I'll just ask one. So if you're wanting to create something that you wanted, a new job or something, what would you do with the Merkaba?
I'm going to repeat the question. If you want to create something new in your life, such as a new job or something that you want, what would you do with the Merkaba? So I would need to look at, why do I want a new job? Can I make up a story? So I might want a new job because I feel a slave to the boss. I want a pay increase and I don't want to work these long hours. Can anyone relate to that? Yeah. So tomorrow you resign. No, I'm joking. So if I know what I don't want, the whole idea of the Merkaba is, if I know what I don't want, I can look at the patterns of every time I've created a job where I haven't been paid enough, haven't been recognised, haven't got what I wanted. But there's a trick. You've got to swap it with what you do want. You've got to see what you do want. Well, I see the boss. I see the boss as very caring. I see that I get X amount of dollars. I work 3 days a week. And that's how the Merkaba works on this level, because I haven't got enough time to share what it does. We do that analysis. Isn't that great? But holding the Merkaba does activate the law of attraction, where you can be, do, have everything. But the key is on that integration of dualities, we're very much focused on what we don't want. But how many of you focus, like a child, focus on what you do want? No, one? Just one? Occasionally. And the universe says, if you don't know what you want, I'm going to slap you anything. How many of you don't know what you want?
So many times. Go on and on.
Okay, but then what's the difference between adults and children? Where kids know exactly what they want. Even if it changes, I want a red bike, I want to go to this school, I want to play that sport.
They put no restrictions on what they
Got it. Welcome to the Merkaba. No limitations. Remember I said at the beginning, this is all about potentiality? No limitations, no restrictions, no blocks, no dualities, nothing going you can't have. Because I know I can. I can be, do, have anything I want. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Because I'm going to slip over to the grid in a moment.
What's the difference between the 8 point and the 10?
Great. So the 8 point was very much about know who I am. The 10 point works on mind, the universal one mind, and that perception's reality, that I can be, do, have everything. Whereas 8 point that was taught in Atlantis was more of, who am I? But we know who we are, but we've forgotten potentiality, which is what that is, potentiality. Any other questions? Yeah.
Well, I think so. The Merkaba is pretty much
Always there.
and it's basically our it's our vehicle, I guess. Do we travel in the Merkaba?
You travel all the time. I'll change the wording. I had vehicle on the PowerPoint. The vehicle is that you can dip into a past life or yesterday or whatever, because our vehicles are body.
Yeah.
And the idea of when it's activated, and it's activated with specific crystal gridding, when it's activated, that your vehicle, instead of driving down in fear of, oh my God, who's going to get me and I'm going to get it, the vehicle is, that was the old Tirana. Now we're in the Lamborghini, hot pink by the way. We're in the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
We're driving in the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
That's the vehicle. And the idea of the 10-point Merkaba is that you change everything from fear to love, fear to love.
Yeah.
You become so conscious. Does that make sense? So it's not the vehicle of, and it's not an aura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what you, when you were born, that's what you...
Everything.
Yeah.
So the table, the computer, the TV, everything has got a Merkaba around it. And certain things will activate it only to a little point. So, and it's quite slow, in human world, it's quite slow. But in universal world, it's really, really slow. So I might be going back to that job situation. I keep creating crappy jobs until one day I say, I'm sick of being sick of this. But it's really got to take a slap in the face. Whereas the idea of this is, bang, you've got it.
So shift your thoughts.
It's not just thoughts. It brings it more into mind, body, spirit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I was thinking if you shifted your thoughts, that would impact the whole
To a
thing.
certain level.
Okay.
Yes, certain level. Because I can shift my thoughts to here, but if I really don't grasp that idea and have faith and belief in myself, I'll be knocked over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
There's mathematical code in the body, which I'm going to go through in a second, which aligns everything into being one. Like it said back here, omnipresent. And when I'm aligned in being one with everything flows cool bananas.
Yeah. Because I've noticed that fear or the doubt, you're very crystal clear, and then all of a sudden you dip in doubt, which actually cancels out whatever it is that you're wanting.
Yeah. How many of you have done that? I'm really certain I'm going to do that job, and then you go into and it is dip. You sort of jump into the drama and go, oh my gosh, I'm in the drama, I'm sitting, oh my God, and you get caught up in the illusion. And that's all it is. And so the 10-point Merkaba makes you aware of the illusion. And you have a choice to actually go, I really don't like this drama. It feels like a thick mud thing and I'm stuck. So you can put your toe in and then go, I'm excited, and go back up that way, if that makes sense. So I'm quickly going to go through, this symbol is this one on a 2D thing. So at certain ages, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, we disconnect from that potentiality. And when we get to 14, because it starts again, 14, what do teenagers do? Do they see potentiality or do they see restriction?
Restriction.
Yeah. Whose fault is it?
Or yours.
No, yours. Is it everyone else's? It's all the duality of what I said before. They go into duality, they go into drama. Give you teenage language. Like, OMG, like. They actually dip into. And it's called a descension. It's where they move right away from their core being. And then we repeat it again. Now I'm 27. At 27, am I still in duality? Still in the drama? Now I'm going to go to 40. Guess what life begins at? 40. But not for the men. Guys, you've got another 13 years.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't know if they're ripped off or we're ripped off. Either or, perception.
So when you say, are you joking then about not for the men?
Yes, no.
No, you're
No, I'm not.
So is that, are you really looking at the feminine? Is the pink the feminine grid?
No.
So check
Because there is no duality of feminine and masculine.
Okay.
The feminine is the top triangle.
Yeah.
The masculine is
And
the
that's
bottom
integration
triangle,
of one, and
which
it's
is a
oneness.
pyramid.
Okay.
And it's one.
Okay.
It's got to be integrated because we either, I'll give you an example, some people go really into the spiritual,
Yeah.
but they're not grounded.
Yes.
And some people are really grounded, and that spiritual stuff,
Yeah.
like pet rocks, crystals,
Yeah.
got to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the both together
Yeah.
for it to work in alignment.
Okay, so when do the men start, life begins for them? At what age?
And it's not picking on the men, by the way. They start at 53.
Right, so I got a date 53-year-old then. Well, I'm just, I'm 41, but I'm just sort of, gauging this,
Okay, well, can we use you as an example?
Yeah.
She dubbed herself in then, didn't
And
she?
she's 41 too, so that's all right. We're sharing this
41
together.
is all about, which is age 2. I'm just going to go back for a second.
Yeah.
If you've got a 15-year-old, you really should be speaking to them like a 2-year-old. Their brain is going through absolutely huge brain synapses. It's brain fried. And if you've ever talked to a teenager, can you put the garbage out and feed the cat? What the? They are back into a 2-year-old mind. So our sons are 13, just about to go. He's doing a double whammy, cut off here and a cut off. Honestly, patience. Thank goodness I know this, otherwise I'd kill him. Joshy, have you fed the rats? I've got 2 little pet rats, and I was grossed out, but they've actually got character and personality. They're really cute. And they don't smell. Josh, if you fed the rats and you need to clean up your shoes and you've got the dishes to do. I've been watching telly. He starts to lose his potential. Now our son is amazing that he has just played representative softball, has got into Queensland in July and playing under 17, he's only 13. Got a little girlfriend, and he just walked into Eagle Boys and went, have you got a job? Yeah, start tomorrow. He's now starting to lose his potential. His conversation is, I'm no good. And yet when he played for representative in April, he was the main player pitcher. He was the team, but he couldn't see it. He thought it was hopeless. Does that make sense? So now let's go into 41, awakening or judgment. And when we're 15, 28, we judge. Oh my God, MMG, did you see her skirt? It's like white, like with a pink top, like. And we are very judgmental. But come 41, we start to awaken and go, you know what? It really doesn't matter if she wears a white skirt with a pink top, whatever. You can make a judgment and go, oh, who cares? But by the time you shift through back to 53, 54, at 54, do you really even notice? Not at all. So part of 41 is you awaken to something really amazing. That's yourself. Then if we take it up to the grid up here, 40 to 52, awareness of self. And people will get that awareness of self through different circumstances. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe the kids are starting to grow up and you're more independent because the kids can look after themselves. Does that answer your question about 41? But remember to treat her like a 2-year-old and she was a 53-year-old man. Is that correct? Any last questions? Because I've got to wrap it up.
I'm interested in that soul education you've got up there. Like, my parents are in their 60s. I'd love to know how to relate to them a bit differently. And I don't know, I just saw that soul education you had up there, the 40 to 52, the awakening of self. Or
maybe you can come and have a look
after,
because it depends on what age they're at. And this can be as complicated as you want. So I'm turning 47, my husband's turning 49, I've got a son turning 14. This is the dynamics of the house. And we've got an older son who's just turned 19. So you can really, and if you have a look, it's almost the 4 points. There's actually balance in the house. And there is, I know they're both teenagers, but there is almost a balance in the house. So, and this is a mathematical code to creation. And when you know it, you can be, do, have anything. So I'm going to wrap it up because there's another speaker coming.
Sure.
But if you've got more questions, please, if you come, we've got a stand outside. I'm just wary of blocking the entrance. But thank you very much for participating and playing. And I hope you can speak. I hope you enjoyed the Merkaba. For those that are interested, there is the little charts, and there's also, I call it the Millennium Grid credit card. It's a little credit card that you can find out where you are at that time. And there's also
do you sell those? Or?
Yes, over at the stand. So thank you very much.
Thank you.